All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the counselor's office. This is my first watch of the Heresy Act 1 reveal. I do want to, we're going to do a couple things as we go, which is kind of funny. First things first, I didn't watch the stream, but I did jump in and I took this picture. Oops. I took this picture. This was what was going on during the stream. Just everyone who wants to know. Before it even started, this was what was being spammed in chat. I'm sorry. Bungie, I think the people have spoken, or Sony, sorry, Sony. The people have spoken. The ball is in your court now. So I'm very interested to see what we're at. Also, I have made D2 Bingo. We're going to play D2 Bingo. You already know the results before I do. But we're going to play together. I know this is not traditional bingo because it's like extra squares, but there's so much I want to cover. I want to see if they cover that we got extra squares. We're playing. Listen, the game is janky and buggy, and so is the bingo board.
But I've got some amazing colleagues here.
I don't know why I miss Deej, because even though Deej introduced like the 2 tokens and 1 blue, I liked his personality. Something about this guy just makes me hate watching Bungie streams.
And start flying across Sol.
Yeah.
The first one that we encountered was in the hands of Maya Sundaresh. We dealt with her. She escaped. Second one we encountered was in the hands of Fikrul. We dealt.
She escaped. Bungie has admitted that she's escaped, meaning she's going. Not only does she still have the Echo, but her story is continuing on. The whole purpose of episodes was to wrap up story threads. If she escapes and still has an Echo, that means the story isn't over yet. Holy crap, Bungie.
Dealt with him. He did not escape. And then the third one that we are encountering is going to be here in the Dreadnought. And after it left the Pale Heart, a very specific dread that we're going to be seeing this episode gave chase to it. So we're going to be dealing with the Dread and the Taken and the Hive all revolving around this Echo.
Excellent. Very exciting. All right. So we have up on screen here in just a
Wait, so the main villain is a random ass Dread. Unless it's Rulk. Are they alluding that this is Rulk? Or is Rulk returning? Is that why they're not mentioning? Because Rulk is technically a Dread. So is Rulk coming back? What the F? Is he coming back? Surely not. Or is it Nezarec? Nah, we know Nezi's dead. But it's not Zero Wrath? You're telling me Zero Wrath isn't what the villain? Like what? Okay, let me just, maybe they'll explain.
moment, I think. The key art now for this next episode, there's a lot going on here. But Nico, I'll leave it to you. Can you tell us just a little bit about what we're seeing here?
Yeah. So I think the first thing that's probably going to draw a lot of people's eye is
they actually did it. Holy shit. They brought Ghost Oryx. They brought Oryx back as a fucking ghost. This is the most nostalgic shit I have ever seen in my life. Where's Crota? Bring Crota back.
Oryx peeking over the top there. So Oryx is, I'll just say Oryx is back to some capacity, right? And the Echo has a lot to do with that. So
let me guess. So here's just my train of thought. Echoes are composed of memories of civilizations. This is going to be an echo based on the memory of the Hive Pantheon, and the Witness's involvement in manipulating the triplets, because it's the 3 siblings. And so this is not technically Oryx. This is the memory of Oryx that is being manifested from the Echo. Is that, maybe that's the guess I'm thinking, is that this is the memory, the phantasm of Oryx, it's not really him. Because how the hell would the witness have the soul of Oryx? I'm thinking it's just the memory of Oryx.
So not only are the Guardians jumping through trying to figure out what exactly is going on in this first act, but they're dealing with this old foe that has been dredged up from the bones of the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And I don't want to reveal too much, but
no,
we're going to be clashing.
The Guardians will be there very soon. But so we're dealing obviously again with the Taken King again.
It has to be the memory, because if this was the true Oryx, Oryx would just kill himself, because Oryx abides in the lore, abides by the sword logic, and he hates necromancy, and this would be a form of necromancy if he was brought back from the dead, and he would just straight kill himself. The fact that they hinted at us clashing with Oryx means that Oryx this isn't the real Oryx, this is the memory of Oryx, so that's what's going on here. That's just my thought.
In some form. So we have some old foes returning, but before we go ahead and move on into gameplay and dive into that.
What about Savathun and Siva Wrath?
Allies returning as well. Can you tell us about some of the folks we're going to be working with this time around as well?
Yeah, so our main cast right now is Eris Morn, which is our resident witch hive
we
expert.
expected that.
A lot of people know her from Season of the Witch, aptly named, or even further back. Season of Arrivals is kind of like the first time that she jumped back into this new sort of saga.
Or the fact that she was part of Crota's end, like that was her introduction way back in the day. Like she literally has ties to Oryx through Crota. Like, okay.
Story arc. So we have Eris Morn. She is, as I said, a resident hive expert. We have the Drifter, her faithful companion, who's following alongside and helping us kind of pick apart what the Taken are doing here.
Yeah.
I think I said at some point before that he always has his finger in the weird of the universe.
He certainly does.
And
He has his finger in. I'm sure the Drifter loves putting his fingers into things. Two in the ghost and one in the stink. There you go.
Some weird going on here.
Excellent.
And then finally, we have Deputy Commander Sloan.
Right.
And Sloan is our Titan representation here. People will remember her from Season of the Deep or even the Red War.
Okay.
And she has been afflicted with this like Taken corruption that we saw back in Season of the Deep. And she's learned how to sort of hold it back, but also utilize it to make her stronger.
Yeah.
So she is going to be teaching us some of that.
Yeah, that's we're going beyond once again.
Yeah.
So it's safe to say. So we've obviously got a whole new cast of friends and enemies to go up against. But really quickly as well, something we were talking about a little bit earlier in the show is the player journey as well. It's something you guys are really excited about this time around.
Okay, so we have Drifter. I guess it makes sense, even though he has no ties to Crota or Oryx. Then you have Eris, which has ties. Like, what about, why is Mara Sov not involved? I feel like this should have, literally Oryx killed Mara Sov, or killed her original body, and she went to the Senate plane. And then it was because of Oryx and the Dreadnought, the whole High Pantheon, that the Dreaming City is the way it was, because Oryx took Riven. Thematically, why is not Mara Sov involved in this conclusion? Also, where is Savathun and Ziva fucking Arath? The two twins. Please don't tell me they're going to come in at Act 3 or at the end of Act 2 and we're going to wrap up their story. Please don't do that, Bungie. That shit was ass in Revenant. Oh, God, please don't do that again. Why do I have a bad feeling about the story being ass?
Can you tell us a little bit about how players are going to be experiencing some of these quests?
Yes.
Also, we're introducing a random ass dread as the main. Fikrul has made sense. This feels like, again, we're back to Mara Tushash, whatever her name is. That's what the story feels like. We got this random ass dread, unless it's like a Rolk or some kind of Nezarec throwback, I guess would be okay as a dread. But if it's this random ass named Dread and that's the big baddie, I'm going to lose my fucking mind.
So, so players have been talking a lot about the structure of the player journey and how they'd kind of like to see it shaken up a bit, right? So this is...
That's an understatement, Bungie. we would like to see things shooken up. Yes, we would like time gating to be removed. We would also like to address the bugs and the quality of life. You could say that both are the same, but I feel like quality of life is not the same as it's not always the bugs that's the problem, because you could have quality of life as in error codes, because bugs are just glitches and things that break the game versus just the game crashing. That's why I put these on 2 different slots.
This is going to be kind of one of our first steps into trying to make that happen in a more tangible way.
Cool.
So you will still notice some of those elements of like returning to a vendor or something like that. But you're also going to notice that we're doing a lot more.
Can we roll this back just a couple of minutes?
The player journey and how they kind of like to see it shaken up a bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So this
Shaken
is going to
up.
be kind of one of our first steps into trying to.
Again, here we are acknowledging the player feedback, and they're saying this is our first steps. You said in Act 1, Revenant, that you were addressing the formula, especially with the hologram and the vendor bullshit. You were going to start addressing it with Revenant. What the fuck are you talking about, Jim? That turned out that was a lie, I guess.
Make that happen in a more tangible way.
Cool.
So you will still notice some of those elements of like returning to a vendor or something like that. But you're also going to notice that we're doing a lot more bespoke, spread out delivery for these beats.
Cool.
You're going to find characters like in the midst of a mission sometimes.
Yeah.
Holy crap! We're actually going to connect with the people that are usually talking to us in a mission. Like, they say they're like in the background in some fucking place and you have no idea where they're at. Whereas like in the final shape, you actually saw like Cade and Crow in the mission. And then you're like, hell yeah, we're getting this actual connection with these characters. Who would have thought? That's great.
There's some new tech that I don't want to spoil. I want players to see it in the game.
Yeah.
But there's some new tech having to do with the way that we would holo project characters in that sort of projection unit that you would find in the helm.
Yeah.
We're expanding that out so that it's a little bit more versatile and it is more cognizant of where players want to be and less about like having to return to this one spot and kind of loop through the helm over and over again.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. Obviously, I'm sure our audience of Guardians who have let Dylan know and his compatriots loud and clear what we're looking for are happy to be hearing that. So.
Oh, I didn't put holo projector on this.
Let me talk to this character. Let me go back to the helm. Let me talk to this character.
Is there a holo projector?
Yeah. I should have put holo projector. It should have been the big one. So, okay. So it seems that Bungie is actually addressing holo projectors, going back and forth, and it seems like you are going to actually engage with the character themselves instead of them disappearing randomly and you go into a fucking holo projector that's right next to them. Thank God.
There's somewhere in there.
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's right. All right.
By the way, this new tech, I guarantee they're going to take the Borderlands approach, where it's going to be like a little screen that pops up on your overlay, and it's going to be the character talking. Like it's going to be literally a portable holograph thing, which is fine. I'd rather do that while they get, instead of having to go back and forth, it just auto plays while I'm doing the thing.
Well, really exciting. So as we kind of move into that player journey, we're going to be working on something called the Path of Resolve.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what that is before we dive into the gameplay here in just a moment?
Yes. So there is an event that happens at the beginning of the episode, which people will see very, very soon after the launch.
Yeah.
And this sort of kicks off. I'm going to choose my words very carefully here.
Redacted.
Redacted. Yeah.
This redacted event sort of kicks off Sloane's motivation for teaching us about the Taken Path.
The big fish gets kidnapped. That's what it is. The big fish gets kidnapped. I forgot what the hell her name is, but it's the high Leviathan fish. That thing is getting swooped up, and Sloane wants to chase after her, and I guarantee that's what's going to happen.
Power that she has been holding back.
Yeah.
Big fish confirmed.
So that is the Path of Resolve here. She's going to be teaching us how to fight fire with fire. We're going to be going into the Dreadnought, taking some control of that Taken
Why am I getting Lightfall PTSD? I feel like we've heard the same thing about Strand using the darkness, like Mr. Miyagi style. Like, I'm getting PTSD.
Energy, taking some control of those old hive magics and wielding them, using our light and using our paracausality, wielding that new power against our enemies.
Very nice.
Again,
All
sounds
we're
like
gonna be
Strand.
obviously keeping Sloan very busy.
Oh, yeah.
With that. But speaking of, we actually have our requisite local fire team here in-house in the activity as well. Ryan, this is the Nether. This is the new activity that's going to be arriving with
All right, we got the Nether.
Heresy.
Got a name.
Can you tell us just a little bit about what this is for starters as we go ahead and kind of dive into it?
Yeah, so the Nether is a 3-player activity, and we are back on the Dreadnought's patrol zones.
Okay, it's confirmed, not Menagerie, because Menagerie is up to 6 players. This is not Menagerie. Yes, so far.
And we'll be exploring the Dreadnought, rooting out the Taken Hive and Dread Corruption that are taking place and taking hold inside the Dreadnought itself as we go through these spaces. And the Nether itself is a uniquely different type of activity. We're really trying to...
Okay, so this looks like the opening start of D1 when you go to the Dreadnought for the first time. You land on the outskirts of the ship. This is that area. It looks very similar to it.
Well, baseline, some inspiration for this activity was looking at Shattered Realm, the Coil, and of course, the Dreadnought's patrol spaces. Of course, we are in the Dreadnought.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just for starters, what you're actually doing inside the Dreadnought is baseline, the patrol zones are randomized and varied. The encounters inside.
Okay, so these are patrol zones. They're calling them patrol zones, but they also said it was an activity. So and they load in, like, this is the thing. So can I just go there and just do nothing and just chill out? Like, I'm not convinced to do this, not a patrol space, because they said that it is. So
are varied and randomized as well. So time over time, when you launch into the activity, it's going to be a different starting bubble, different encounters, and different events and objectives for you to engage with and accomplish as you're.
So you're not going to be able to choose where you start at. It's just random. So you're just going to randomly spawn it somewhere in the ship. You cannot actually naturally go where you want by flying into it.
Exploring the Dreadnought itself.
Yeah. What kind of like modifiers would you say players are going to go up against in here? Because surely they're not just going to go into the Dreadnought and get a warm welcome necessarily.
Yes. Yeah. So the Nether has some very unique modifications to it that we're experimenting with. So first off, players do not regenerate health, and to compensate for that, we are doing something special where we're providing.
Ha! Okay. We don't regenerate health. How do we make content harder? We just make it to where you just die. Got you. And they brought back the token system, which I fucking hate the token system. I hate the fucking token system. It's just, especially with LFG, I just hate it. I'm okay with the score system, which they also brought back, which tells me it's going to be tied to the shitty ass loot system too.
Players with plus 300 bonus health baseline to their original HP values.
Okay,
and
300? Holy crap.
Shield value. So alongside that, we really want to make your health regeneration or your health as like a resource.
I'm going to wait for them. They usually talk about weapons. If they don't, I want to go back and like discuss what I'm seeing on the screen with these weapons, by the way.
Source, as you're fighting through this, as we are looking at this as a very rogue-lite experience, and we need resources to contend with to make and hit that rogue-lite emphasis.
So your health is a resource. Do I know an MMO that makes your health a resource? Like intentionally outside of like just playing the game and not dying. Like Diablo 4, the resources is like the runes and the material and making potions.
Just unlight there, of course, because this is still a very uniquely Destiny experience.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of things contributing to that as well. So we do have ammo scarcity as well, so players won't be getting as much ammo, but there will be ways and avenues to get health and ammo drops in the activity, as well as boons that will improve your power over time as you engage with the activity.
Nice.
That progressive sort of idea of like power and building up how strong you are as you're moving through the Nether.
Okay, so they brought this back from Season of the Deep. I'll be honest. I fucking hated deep dives. Finishers grant a strand grenade, which detonates into many unraveling projectiles. This, however, does seem better. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be $150. This is better than getting like slight increase to grenade energy. Like, I fucking hate deep dives, but this looks like an improvement from that system. So I'm more willing to like, okay.
That roguelite experience.
Hi.
It's also
Buff, increase elemental damage dealt, corruption, drain, grenade, and class ability. Okay.
reflective of that narrative of like building yourself up, pushing deeper into the dreadnought. The dreadnought is resisting you. It's trying to make sure you can't like move towards the echo and figure out what's going on. And this is you finding ways to like pierce the veil and move beyond their veil.
Okay, this look reminds me of the showdown of Oryx, like, but this is not his throne world. It looks like it is, but it's not. Not throne world, but like, you know, his like hive throne.
Some new challenges obviously warrant new strategies. Yeah, the way as well.
Absolutely. And then you saying like ammo and health
Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong.
like a resource, so it's you're not seeing it drop off of enemies and stuff like that. But
Maybe it is his throne.
Find like a resource and collect and all that.
Yeah, so we have destination materials. We have urns and pots kind of placed around everywhere. And
Oh, god damn it. We're back with pot simulator. Fuck, dude. I hate that.
and also destination chests that players can find. And when
I'm okay with that.
you break these destructible pots, they'll explode into like a rain of health, ammo, heavy ammo, sometimes boons.
So it's actual goodies?
Sometimes revive tokens. I forgot to mention we are using revive tokens here as a resource as well. So you really need to manage, but like there are avenues to get more revive tokens. There is more avenues to get health and ammo. So we really want players to explore the dreadnought and encourage that exploration by looking for these urns, looking for the chests, and like searching for those boons, because there's multiple avenues and like ways for players to search out and go get them.
Yeah, and I mean that resource scarcity is really going to make you want to chase those down, and I can imagine that health is a sight for sore eyes.
Absolutely.
To that end as well, actually, you know, obviously you mentioned we're back at the Dreadnought, but I can't imagine it's the exact same one. Can you tell us a little bit about how the Dreadnought has changed?
Yeah, so since the Echo has hit the Dreadnought, a lot of the spaces have changed and like modified. A lot of the skin of the Dreadnought ship has like peeled back, revealing bone and chitin and
Create a solar wave on slide. Okay.
showing off new secrets, new pathways. So you
While sprinting, gain stacks of bolt charge. Release the charge by damaging a target with your melee ability.
You are in familiar spaces if you've played the Dreadnought before, but there is a lot of new, interesting, unique pathways. Things have changed. Things have become abnormally different.
Oh, yeah. There goes our fire team.
And that's the last we ever saw of that party ever again. As mysteriously as they arrived, they were gone.
Yeah.
And we've kind of like, for players who are wanting that explorative aspect, right? We've kind of like separated out the modes a little bit. So people can go in and they can explore the Dreadnought, but people who are like looking to just bust through the activity and get loot, they have a different match-made mode, right?
Absolutely. So the Nether has
So there's the exploration mode, and there's a actual, like, we want to do the activity mode. Okay.
currently 3 modes. So there's the Nether exploration for those solo type experiences, but they can bring their fire team in as well if they'd like to. And this is more of like that patrol-esque experience that you're looking for. I want to explore at my own like pace. I want to look for secrets.
Okay, I will give them credit because that's a big complaint with the community is, can I play solo? Yes, you can play solo now. Bungie finally listened and say, hey, this is seasonal content. There's no fucking way you shouldn't be able to play how you want to play. Congratulations. Now you can play solo or with friends. It's that simple. And I don't know if it is gonna be easier.
I want to just engage with the space like it was a patrol space back in the day.
Yeah.
It still is the Nether experience.
What's up, Firestone?
Where you're going from, you're playing through the 3 bubbles and there's escalating difficulty. But we do grant to you.
So it's the coil. This is the coil 2.0. That is essentially. God damn it. I mean, the coil is fine. I didn't mind it, but like, damn, we're really, Jackie. We're people will know that reference. We're really gonna go back and do just instead of menagerie. Now we're gonna do the coil to the hell and back.
In that mode, a multitude of revives. So you have a way larger pool of revives, so you can make mistakes. It's just for those players who want to like explore at their own whim, play at their own pace, And then additionally, there's also damage modifiers for those players when they're engaging with bosses as a solo player, so they can actually tackle those hurdles as they come.
What about the loot? This is a seasonal activity. What about the loot? This is what I want to know, Bungie. Solo players out there if they're going to play this activity and you need to give them a reason to do this, it's also exploring. Like, is there a reason to fucking explore? Or like we just sitting here saying, hey, how's the kids? And driving by and we're getting shit all? Like, I'm very interested. What's up, Fuxies? Luke Katz. Maybe so sad only a few things from the stream got me even slightly excited. We're going to find out more. Let's keep going.
Nice.
And also some modifiers on like how many enemies are spawning, so they don't need to like get swarmed by every single enemy.
All this sounds great for casuals and new players and solo players. I'm interested about the loot. The mausoleum. Ooh.
Really taking the skybox for a little while and hang out with your buddies. Yeah.
This is a D1 area.
If you do get lost, because this is, we didn't want to overclutter the spaces with objectives, because there is a lot of things to do, and there's a lot of different things to do in every single bubble and location that you go to in the Dreadnought. If you do get lost, you just pop open your ghost, and there'll be a bunch of star objective icons that'll like.
Oh my God. It's that easy, Bungie. It is that easy. It is that easy to put a tooltip on the fucking game to explain how to do the fucking thing. Oh my God, it's just that easy. It's just that easy, Bungie. I can't believe we did tonics and all this other stupid ass crap and there was no explanation for anyone on how to do it. It just literally do tooltips or indicators where to go, what to do. It's just that easy.
Let you know where you should be looking and where you should be going for the next spot.
Wow!
Talking back to those different modes, we do have the match-made mode on advanced baseline difficulty, and then we do have expert as well.
Very cool. Okay, so plenty of challenges for the Guardians that want to undertake those. Make sure they're pushing not only themselves, but the opportunity to get loot as far as they possibly can.
Absolutely. And on that loot note as well,
I just want to point out, I'm seeing Bolt Charge and I'm seeing like Thunderlord come from this little legendary, unless I don't think it's exotic, but I'm seeing mini Thunderlord right now.
every time you complete a bubble, there is a chest checkpoint, so you do get loot checkpoints essentially.
Okay.
And like the average runtime for like a bubble is 8 to 12 minutes, but you do get the most loot by completing the entire activity as a whole.
Okay. 8 to 12 minutes per bubble. That's not a lot of time and it's checkpoint based. So it sounds like you can play the way you want. So new players, casual players, if you don't have a lot of time, you're going to be able to get some loot and go. And it's not going to take it's not going to be another Salvation's Onslaught or Prison of Elders. It sounds like you're going to be able to get some loot and get out. That's great. I think that was a big community complaint, and I did criticize them for that. So, shout out. Again, this is not going to impact me at all unless I really want to play casual one day, in which case that does happen. Okay, I will give credit where it's credit due. That was a complaint. They're acknowledging it. Did I put any of this so far? Arc focus. I'm seeing it. They haven't addressed it yet. They also have not directly addressed time gates. I'm going to say quality of life with the tooltips and just the fact that you can do activities without actually spending all your time doing it. That I'm going to say give them the quality of life. I know that's a T and it should be L, quality of life. We're not getting Menagerie and Noah's not there yet. And then it seems like it is a patrol space, but it's not. I don't know.
But there are checkpoints for players who just want to jump in for like 8 to 12 minutes, hit that loot checkpoint, like, okay, I'm out for now, or players who want to just like rush through it and get all the loot at every single end of every single bubble checkpoint.
Very cool. Okay. All right. And then also, I think, in addition to the modifiers we're talking about, the boon system is one that I heard you mention a little bit earlier. I'd love to actually kick off the conversation about that. I think we maybe...
Is the boon system the new tonic system?
We saw the folks in chat that were eagle-eyed that were keeping an eye on the modifiers may have seen something a little bit earlier before, but can you tell us a little bit about the boon system?
Yeah, so the boons here are, we have a multitude of boons. We have minor boons.
Okay, I'm assuming this is the currency for tonics and Revenant and not for, hopefully, Heresy. Please, for the love of God, tell me this is outdated.
Major boons and corrupted boons. So minor boons are minor stat increases that are pretty much just to increase your power and incrementally stack. They can stack up to 10. And they're just like the typical like increased light damage, increased darkness damage, movement speed on kills. Some are like based on health and regenerate health, and are typical with mobility increases.
Oh, okay. Boons are the things we looked at with, like,
and allow you to tackle.
Okay, so boons are just the roguelike thing. Okay. So what about tonics? We know that has nothing to do with tonics. Then what about tonics?
The more difficult bubbles as you approach them.
Yeah.
And then additionally, we have major boons.
Yeah.
And then from there, they're like actually more larger gameplay modifiers that actually affect your abilities and your actions.
Yeah.
And of course now, we do have Eric.
That's right. Yes, actually. So anyone
Who's
at
Eric?
home that may have noticed,
Well, it's definitely a black dude, but not Noah. I'm trying to remember who this guy is, but he's not Noah. He's not the G. Like, shout out F's in the chat for Noah not being in this.
our good friend Nico, please give him a shout out in chat and let him know that you love him, has stepped out of the scene for just a moment, and we are now joined by
This is a broken man. This is a man that doesn't want to be here. This is a man that is not excited to be there. This is a man who does not want to be here. Just, there's a clear difference between this guy.
gameplay feature lead, Eric Smith. Eric, how's it going, man?
That is a guy that's not happy to be there.
Doing well. How are you?
Is there any, doing well, thank you. You guys?
There's a clear difference between that guy and this guy. He was not excited to be here. Like Noah, like I know. Hold on. Destiny 2, Revenant, Act 2, dev live stream. I know you want to see this, but it's a night and day difference between this dude and the other dude. Let's just go here.
So they're also
Rather is going to get some nice buffs. You were saying the repulsor brace, both hell rounds.
yeah.
I'll be very excited to see this. This is one of my favorite intros.
The grand reveal. Yeah, let's see
Exactly.
here. And you were saying the Dread and the Taken are working together in this one, right?
I'd say the Taken are kind of taking the helm of the Dread right now, not because
Like this
they're-
dude, he's more excited. Like, let's be honest. That dude, Noah, much more excited.
We have solar slide as well, but we also have stasis slide, where you run and you slide, and a big stasis wave comes out and makes crystals and freezes.
No, but seriously, I think this is improvement for the fact that's part of baked into the activity. But Hellheart Blessings was just pointless. It had no value.
Freezes things, and you can blow them up yourself. And there's stuff.
Yeah,
that
it's so
is
forgettable.
gonna allow you to heal more effectively. There's
Hold on. Reduce damage per piece of episodic armor worn up to 4 pieces. So that's how they're gonna make you wanna. They're gonna make you actually want to use the episodic armor.
Like, ooh, this one's interesting. Reduces damage per piece of episodic armor worn.
Oh, cool.
It is quite significant boost as well.
Yeah.
Significant.
yeah, so-
There it is. They found a reason for you to give a shit about the episodic armor.
There's a bunch, and then finally we have the kind of kiss curse boons, as
Yes.
we call them, but they have a official.
Oh, you can actually see what you've acquired. Okay, that's cool.
What was that?
The corrupted boons. And
Here we go. We're looking at one right now.
Yeah, so these corrupted boons are offered at the same time as major boons, as players can only obtain 5 to 6 major boons / corrupted boons per run through. Those are granted to players once randomly at one of the 3 encounters inside of the bubble, and then again at the end of the bubble once they complete it. And there's some ritual loop stuff too that will allow them to get another one at the start of a bubble or the start of a run through. But these Kiss Curse or corrupted boons,
We are essentially attrition is on at all times because that's what the pot does. It gives you attrition.
as we call them, essentially give you a great bonus or increase to a specific thing at the cost of a major negative. So one, for example, here that I'm really fond of is Glass Cannon, which increases all damage massively,
Yeah.
while
Okay.
also increasing all the damage you take.
Yeah. Which is also, that's the dev name internally, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the dev name.
Yeah, okay.
Dev name.
So if you don't find one specifically named Glass Cannon, we are obviously, we hang out in our own Word docs and Excel sheets quite a bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that one is interesting. It's an interesting choice that you can make since the kind of like the risk to reward ratio, right? Because you have non-regenerating health in here, you really have to come at each encounter with that kind of mindset of health as a resource.
It is.
And make sure that, if I take damage from this enemy or that enemy, it has the potential to stick with me unless I can find a healing source.
Yeah, really got a fire team option too, where it's like every time you're offered those major boons, your teammates can also choose different ones. So it's like, oh hey, 2 of us are going to do that glass cannon, or external.
Yeah.
And then another person is going to do, oh hey, every time I do a finisher, things are volatile around me and I get my grenade back. So I can spam more of those, keep you a bit safer when you get swarmed by things.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's pretty much what deep dives were, but thanks for repeating the same thing.
It's also good to know on the health regeneration aspect. We have, the Gameplay and Sandbox team has tuned a lot of the abilities and weapons that do heal players, so they're not extremely overpowered. So there's been a wide tuning pass on all of this entirely, so you're going to see when you're trying.
So here's the deal. They changed support frames because of this activity. They nerfed, like, made it based on range because of this activity. Last time they made activity or changed things based on an activity, we got Reckoning. Though technically it started off based on well and all that stuff, but then once it was nerfed, they started changing things around, changing the guns and abilities around activities to make them less potent. Like Bungie does this all the time.
Trying to heal up your teammate with one of our new support auto rifles.
Yeah.
It's going to take some time, but it does work and it is very efficient and very helpful, especially the abilities. So you're definitely going to spec into healing builds.
Oh, man, I have to just give a shout out to the team on like Season of the Deep. We were going deep into the oceans of Titan, and now it feels like we're going deep into space, and like the pressure you can feel it, tentacles taking energy. Like they knocked it out of the park with the vibe here. I'm feeling a little claustrophobic.
I'm still confused though. Like it's the Taken, but like what happened to the Hive? Like I know, like does the Taken make tentacles? Like it feels more like I don't know. It just feels weird.
But also,
I didn't know the Taken make tentacles.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Trees.
So, in addition to, there's obviously modifiers you're going to be facing as a Guardian, as a fire team. There'll be boons available to you, but this episode as well is going to bring with it a bevy of new gear between both armor and weapons. Now, obviously, for the keen-eyed Guardians in chat who are watching, there's obviously some seasonal armor, some episodic armor sets that we have here that you can go ahead and check out firsthand. But I think, kind of in the spirit of this activity and build crafting, let's talk about some of the weapons. Actually, there's one.
Oh, finally, we're getting to the weapons. Finally, we get to it, baby.
Given that health is so
crap I care about,
precious resource in this activity, Eric, can you tell us?
I'm gonna say right now that I'm probably not gonna do a 1-for-1 because we're already like 50 minutes in, and we're only 20 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to edit the hell out of this after I'm done. I do want to play a little bit of the game. Yeah, I just there's a lot of fluff in this that just they talk to talk, and it doesn't really add any value to the game, in my opinion. Like we're sitting here having a circle jerk, and that's it.
A little bit about this one.
Yeah, so this is Adamantite. This is our new Strand support auto.
That's cool.
And it has some really unique features.
Okay, so one of the big problems with, let's see, did I put anything about it? Okay, I want to see some shiny weapons. One of the biggest problems with this game, or Revenant and Echoes, is that there maybe Echoes had a couple choice picks, but Revenant, there's just all the weapons were mid, very forgettable. I already can tell I'm going to want this auto rifle because support frames are generally better than regular auto rifles, and it's Strand. So, and I just hope it has good perks.
One of those is that when I heal enemies, so.
Also, I'm eagle-eyeing this right now. Taking the King's Fall origin perk is now back on the menu, boys. That means anything that's going to have it's going to be built in. It's going to have overload ammo opportunities. Huge.
So these support autos, there's 2 of them in the game now. When I hip fire at an ally, it'll send out kind of healing rounds. Right. And then if I need to, shoot an enemy right next to that that ally, I can just ADS and go full offense. Right. But the healing from this, because you're shooting out strand rounds, if you heal an ally repeatedly, it'll actually cause them to sprout little unravel seeds, which kind of turns them into this like short-term, strand turret.
Throw your friend as a grenade into the fight. Right?
Cover them in Telesto boats, put it in.
I was trying to click this to see what the thing was.
It'll actually cause them to sprout little unravel seeds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Which kind of turns them into this like short-term.
This is what I'm so janky with streaming and catching things. I just want to do this so I can see what it says. Like, this is obviously something. All right, complete encounters and nether activity. Completing encounters on expert difficulty awards additional progress. Okay.
Strand turret.
Throw your friend as a grenade into the fight. Right?
Cover them in Telesto boats, put it in. But now it's like, oh, hey, I'm
Just
healing you and making you.
Let your hunter friend with the Caliban Slayer's handshake roll run in there and just keep them alive, right?
And that's why I'm so excited about this activity, because we've kind of introduced all these kind of healing things, but in a lot of the game, like, I can just hide behind a box and heal, right? And here you can see our health isn't regenerating. So we need to really think about, maybe there is a dedicated healer on your.
I'm going to give an opinion that I don't know how other people feel about this. I'm okay with the capping the health. What they're saying is true. There's no reason to be a healer in this game outside of like day ones. Like most content, you can self heal yourself. Like, there's no reason. Bungie is wanting to do class identity with like a support build, but support builds don't fucking exist in this game to the extent that it matters. I'm okay with this. I'd rather them do the, hey, you don't regen health, than we just make everything one-shot you. There is nothing more lazy, in my opinion, than just increasing the damage of an enemy and just say, haha, get good. I'm sorry. I'm okay with them doing this. This is a better way of doing it, where you have to play smarter, have a team composition. I'm just tired of, oh, what's that? You have max everything, you're in a well, and then something just one-shots you because fuck damage.
Team, maybe there's multiple allies using the healing rounds, right?
Yeah, honestly, that build crafting is kind of transcending now beyond yourself, just to like per activity, per fire team.
I think we're about to play Diablo 4, guys. I don't know about you, but I think we're about to play Diablo 4. Replace shards with dust, and we have Diablo 4. Why? We've got sigils now? Don't tell me sigils is new tonics. Fuck. Okay, well, I don't think they're going to talk about this system.
Whatever you've got. So this one's obviously going to be a ton of fun, but that is far from the only weapon that's being added around. As far as the episodic weapons, are there any others in particular you want to call out?
There are. I do actually want to talk about this one with one more thing.
Oh, please.
This weapon can roll Slice and Tear.
What the hell is Tear?
Two perks that
they did it. I knew they were talking about Lumina is a niche case though. No one barely really wants to do Lumina as like a safe build. We're back, boys. Actually, this is the first time we had seasonal adept, so
sever enemy.
Okay, so we've got double perks, shiny weapons, but is it a true shiny? I don't know.
Yeah. It's not often we get a primary legendary weapon that can debuff in multiple ways.
Yeah.
And that's going to play into things like the artifact this season, which we'll talk about a little bit later.
So what you're telling me is you're going to want to chase this gun right here for more than one reason. You're going to want to chase the adept version of this gun. At least I have something to chase, unless Bungie gives you a God roll in the season pass for some fucking reason.
Oh yeah, we'll get there.
So there's Adamantite, which is a really solid weapon. And then let's look at Psychopomp. So Psychopomp is our
Psycho what?
new area denial grenade launcher.
Such a good name.
I love it. Yeah.
It's just Psychopomp. Yeah. Let's go.
So
I mean, it looks like Mountaintop,
So these area
with-
denial
but it-
grenade launchers.
good
the
enough.
fantasy of these things is like a flamethrower, right? We don't have flamethrowers in the game. But this is as close as you can get to a flamethrower. So I imagine I'm using one every time I use this thing.
I'm going to now.
This thing has a really cool new perk on it that
Rolling Thunder. Final blows grant bolt charge. Well, amplified final blows grant additional bolt charge. I don't know if this is enough for me to waste a special slot for a GL when we have GLs with like chill clip, like liturgy. Not in this slot, obviously. Well, we have the orbprinter.com. Like, why would you ever use this over like baton?
keys into our new ARC keyword.
I'm sorry. Bungie really is trying to sell ARC. I'm just not impressed. There's nothing about ARC that screams, yeah, this is day one material. I'm sorry. Just because you shred out basic trash ads doesn't mean it's good. So they are definitely trying to do ARC focus here. It's not working for me.
Bolt charge, which we'll also talk about in a bit. Also, it works with amplified.
I'm sure
as
it's
well.
fun.
So this thing,
I'm going to say it now, I'm pretty sure it's going to be fun. Like if you want to do general like raids, you could definitely do it. But for like end game content, I'm probably just going to use Prismatic.
if you are ARC build crafted this season and ARC has received a ton of love, this thing is going to absolutely slay out.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Get to see our fire team put it to good use here, but as someone who's been building area denial grenade launchers into my loadout,
All right, Willing Vessel. Let's read this together. I just want to boop, boop, boop. Willing Vessel. Dealing damage or defeating targets with this weapon gradually grant increased stability, handling, reload speed, and charge rate. This effect gradually decreases over time, but this is gained more quickly while near allies. You get stability, handling, reload speed, and charge rate. Maybe for PvP, for PvE, like this is a nothing burger origin trait. I think I would run. So it feels like this is meant for PvP, and then PvE, you just run the runneth over, which this one doesn't have for some reason.
I can't wait. Honestly, the second I learned this was on the docket, I was so excited.
The folks that have been working on these weapons too, like the general look of them, it goes along with what you were saying of.
I mean, it looks clean.
Peeling back. If you look at the weapon, you can see like, oh my gosh, there's like
the bone.
There's
the
the core. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does go hard.
I've got you also.
And it has glows. Like, dude, the glow looks badass.
The previous one on Adamantite, that one was an adept weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me pull out.
Wait,
my
why?
handy
They also
There
look
we
different.
go.
Here's the meme.
Screen cap.
But yeah, you can notice that for this go of our episodic weapons, you can earn adept weapons, and these are we're considering or calling them our heretical arsenal.
Got it.
Heresy, heretical.
Yeah.
Like we're going deep into this.
It's not
theme
theoretical, it's heretical. Love it. Yeah.
You can see that it has a new or a different treatment to the colors. It's kind of like the hollow foils from Into the Light.
Okay.
Not.
All right, baby. Not only is it adept, but shiny weapons return. Whoop, 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 whoop. Shiny weapons return. Finally, a fucking reason to care. Whoop, whoop. Yeah.
So much exactly that of, hey, it's an ornament, but like this has the base.
It's just a
style and all that.
customization. Looks
Really good.
badass.
Shout out to the team. But you can also notice there are multiple perks in each column. There's actually an extra origin trait as well. Shout out Taken King, all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you can only get that. Okay.
But there's a very interesting ways of earning these weapons. So you're going to be going into these activities, upping that difficulty. You're going to be exploring the Dreadnought and looking for these. As well with the episodic weapons, there are going to be new fragile mods. So they're called fragile because these will be expiring at the close of the episode.
Okay.
But they're going to give you pretty insane bonuses to your outgoing power. So not necessarily the power of the weapon, but the actual like versatility of it.
Yeah.
One of these, I have the power of resolve. Rapid hits. They create Taken Seekers. They're really good against champs.
Yeah.
So that's an example. There are going to be a couple at launch and then more coming with each act.
Yeah.
But these will be great in Nightfall.
So they've introduced artifact mods, but then seasonal mods that you can use on these weapons, I'm assuming, to get special effects. Okay. I still feel like that's not good because I would rather have actual build crafting that lasts instead of seasonal build crafting. I feel like we should address the problem with the fact that there is no real build crafting as is for armor. And this feels like we're putting a band-aid on the problem rather than actually addressing the main problem.
Be great in higher content.
Champions and shambles.
Yeah. And then for when you're going in and earning these weapons, there was a ton of feedback, and we absolutely heard you. We're listening about the tonic system. So there's things with like the user experience was a bit rough of having to go back in, create more tonics, trigger them in the middle of activities because they were running out.
Yeah.
The team really took that to heart. They want to make sure that there's agency in how you're earning these weapons. So they're going to be making it through the Tome of Want. You can kind of target these weapons. You don't need to go in and do this a ton of times. You can say, hey, I want to go for this auto rifle. I want to go for this grenade launcher, linear fusion rifle, and I really want to be going for that to try to get these heretical versions.
Okay.
So effectively, like, I don't want to say more loot because it's not going to be like, oh, hey, you're getting 10 times more.
Yeah.
But it's going to feel like, oh, hey, I have a goal of getting this loot, and now I'm going to go and play the game and get what I'm looking for.
Definitely. No, it's super exciting, honestly. Just having those more opportunities to just, break your loadouts out a little bit, find new ways to go ahead and really excel, especially given the challenges we're going to be going up against on the Dreadnought.
And with the fragile mods, like, it's baking into the
Okay. They addressed the issue of targeting, and it sounds like you are going to be guaranteed like attunement, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be on all the time, like attunement. Also, they have not addressed the concerns of every act having different attunements, like different materials that you have to farm. We know sigils is part of it. So there's a new material called sigils, sigil powder or whatever, dust or whatever the hell it's called. It's comparable to Diablo 4. We know we're going to have to farm new material. So it's not actually a one-for-one attunement like we want. It's not addressing the concern of the busy XYZ fieldwork bullshit. They haven't said anything about whether that's returning or not, which improve the efficiency of crafting and interacting with tonics, and so they haven't actually addressed that at all. I'm not satisfied with the tonic. I'm just not. There's nothing that gives me faith in this at all. I don't think they adequately addressed it.
that exploration, like
they addressed one singular problem, which is it's not guaranteed. But also the main problem was it took fucking forever to farm for the stupid ass shit to target farm in the first place. You had this like PhD of figuring out how to get these unlocked. Then you had to do field work to make it easier to craft, and you had to go get so many material from each activity, and then you could actually target farm. It's like so much. It was too much bullshit. Too much. What I call retention bait.
And how do you find them again?
Yeah, so they can be found through secrets and chests found in the Nether. They're spread out. They're hidden pretty well, but I imagine folks will find them over time or through some YouTube videos.
Yeah, but Rick Hack is here.
We're gonna wait for.
Circle jerk number 2. Wow. Yep. Let's keep it going. Whoops.
We won't miss it this time. Fallout, obviously. If you could make some guides for us, we'd greatly appreciate it.
Oh, there it is. There's number 3, circle jerk. Add another 1x. More circle jerking. Let's go.
So,
Iswerg,
obviously, yes.
Yeah.
One of the best communities out there.
Let's see. Anything else? Yeah, I mean, the last keyword I want to throw on there is aspirational.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we want to have tools that players want to go and find, want to earn, and increase their power.
Yeah. So we've got a couple.
I will say this is just one gun. So far, it looks good. Let's be honest. This is just one gun. We've seen 2 guns, actually 3, because we saw the heavy LMG, which looks like Hammerhead, the ARC Hammerhead. This looks good, but I know we're getting an LMG. We're getting the aerial denial. We're getting the auto rifle. We're getting a sidearm. I think we're also getting a fusion rifle. So I know that's like, it depends on the other guns. Is one gun that I really want to get going to be enough to make people play the content? I don't know.
More weapons I definitely want to talk about because we're reprising some as well. But while we have a brief reprieve from combat, I'd love to actually go ahead. I know you mentioned earlier aspects, Eric.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and take a look really quickly. We got our friendly neighborhood warlock here up first.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the new aspects?
They're gonna talk about the aspects. I don't care. How they're just gonna keep talking about aspects. I'm gonna skip the aspects because we fucking know what they do. So I'm not gonna oh my God, how long? 29? They spend like almost 10 minutes talking about new aspects. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell you right now, none of the aspects make me like excited, except for maybe the on the prow. There's nothing that's moving the needle for me. Except for on the prow, possibly, because you just make everyone invisible all the time. Everything else, meh.
You just gave me the best segue I could possibly imagine. We have looked, obviously, we've begun to scratch the surface of some of the new build crafting opportunities.
Okay, they're going to talk about the artifact. That's what I want to do.
We got a new artifact as well this episode. We've got the Tablet of Ruin, which seems aptly named.
Okay.
Now, just as a starting point, can you let us know the general theme of this one?
Yeah.
This is what I care about the most. The artifact. This is the shit that I really hate about this. All right, we've got fusions. Fusions for Unstoppable. LMG for Overload. Sidearm for Anti-Barrier. Sniper for Anti-Barrier. And then Glaives. Actually, I do like Unstop Glaives. I feel like the new one with Stasis Chill Clip is going to be pretty good. Though it can inherently deal with Unstops. But okay. I don't know if there was anything else that's popping up here. I don't see any other Unstops. Yeah, so let's look at this. Special, heavy, special. There's only one primary weapon as an anti-champion capability. There is one. There is a singular weapon that you can use. You have to use heavy and specials to do anti-champion capabilities. Bungie, what the fuck is wrong with you? What? Again, until the day I die, fuck off with your shitty ass artifacts.
So the theme of this episode's artifact is kind of subjugation and bending enemies to your will.
Yeah.
Essentially, as we are going back.
I don't know why they're going over the aspects for so long. Like the people watching didn't see the TWAB. Like, yeah, let's be honest. Most people, how are people going to know that there was a stream in the first place? They watched the TWAB or someone told them. And if they told them, they probably told them about the new aspects. So, yeah.
Dreadnought. It was unlikely that the Dread or the Hive were going to come peacefully, so we got to bring the big guns to force their hand.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not about us winning; it's about them losing.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the Tablet of Ruin is there to ruin their day, essentially. Yeah, so
he's definitely smiling.
Some highlights of mine from here. If we look at column 5, because column 5,
column 5's a strong one.
That's where
we got to go right to the chase.
We have Void. Which one is it? It's called
Void Flux. Defeating weakened targets with a void weapon applies a volatile to nearby targets. Powerful targets increase the radius of explosion. For Gerfalcon, that's nice, but for a tier 5. Is that really that good? No.
Void Flux, that's it. Void Flux. So defeating weakened targets with a void weapon applies volatile to nearby targets, and then you pair that with the column 4 Maligned Harvest.
Rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of void weapon to create a weakening burst. Okay, so you have to use 2 specific perks to get this benefit. Weaken provides a small void overshield. Okay, so they brought back the boost. So the tonic system is still technically in play, so you can get an overshield. For hunters, this is amazing. Just because you can keep volatile up like all the time, and then you're getting weakening with overshield. Like Warlock, maybe Titan. I just don't see Titan benefiting from this very often, but I definitely see Hunter loving it.
And rapidly applying volatile causes your next instance of void weapon damage to weaken, which then feeds back into the other one. And it's like if you can if you can get this this engine going,
Yeah.
you know, in a crowded room, it's nasty.
With
Me and my fellow
Hunter,
Fighting
you can.
Lion, addicts are going to have a really good time. This one I can already tell. The Fighting Lion subreddit, I want to see some clips. That's
And
all I'm
then
saying.
I also want to call out Horde Shuttle in
Yeah,
here.
please.
So Horde Shuttle, damaging unraveled targets with a weapon, occasionally spawns a Threadling. This is really good for your
Threadlings still suck ass. Please. No one cares about Horde Shuttle because Threadlings still suck ass. Please do more for Threadlings. Please.
strand builds, especially against high health targets. Because I unravel them, they stay unraveled. I keep shooting them, and they're just popping Threadlings out, left and right.
Nice.
With a solar build, you can definitely, or not solar, void build, like void. I'm thinking of some void warlock builds. You can definitely take advantage of it. I just don't know if I want to compared to like Hunter, which is a master at it.
And then, because we talked about Arc, flashover in column 4, when you gain a maximum full charge, you also become amplified. Amplified.
All right, lightning bolts deal more damage. If this is a 15% increase, this might see some life with like certain exotics and certain weapons. Like we know sniper rifles, if it can stack, like for instance, if I use a arc sniper with Darcy buffing it and it's able to build bolt charges, and you're using the Titan aspect that essentially being behind a barrier gives you in the team bolt charge. Like if they give you a really good arc sniper this season, this could be really good for DPS. Like I'm thinking in my head, using a Titan to buff everyone, you're getting bolt charge, you're casting lightning. This is increasing by 15%. You have someone debuffing the boss with like volatile or whatever the hell you care. And then you're just using snipers and you're killing, you're slaying. I can see it.
Amplified is getting a big kind of buff this episode as well to its
Threadlings is not good for DPS. That's why you see no one fucking using it. Like people use now I take that back. Linears are getting a 10% buff. They are buffing the that means the Salvation's Edge exotic is going to get some love from that. So it could very well be better now with that mod. Like that combo is great, but Threadlings alone is not good. That's why you don't see anyone using it in like actual like in-game content or even like solo low mans. You just don't. They're not that good for DPS.
With survivability. So really Arc in general is it's hot. It's gonna be hot.
Yeah. It's gonna be some spicy Arc builds.
They buff the exotic arc sniper, remember. That's Darcy, and then Darcy gets a 15%, but other exotics don't. It has to be a legendary sniper to get the benefit.
This time around.
Shock 'em, baby.
Yeah, there you go. That's end too. Dylan, can you walk us through some of the stuff in the first column as well? We're gonna have some new champion mods to take out.
Yeah, so I mean, like, there's all these really ability focused items.
I'm gonna skip ahead because we already know what they are. Dealing sustained damage to fusion rifles linear partially refills the magazine from reserves and grant them bonus damage for a short duration against the target. Oh my god. Yeah, Cloud Strike will benefit the lightning strikes, but it will not benefit from Darcy's buff because it's exotic. I want you all to realize something here. All linears are getting a 10% buff. Particle deconstruction and Queenbreaker is going to be fucking nasty. It's going to be nasty. Oh my god. Your phone Cascade Strand GL rotation will be cracked. Yes, you could definitely use Euphony with this artifact mod. This might be the time that Euphony and Warlocks can really synergize and live their best life, finally. But I'm still gonna think Euphony still isn't the best overall. I'm gonna say Queenbreaker is gonna be nasty. Nasty. But I think Euphony for Grandmasters, it's gonna be on, boys. I'm excited for a Euphony. Yeah, Queenbreaker, because Queenbreaker, remember, Queenbreaker is getting a massive buff. It's gonna be a 3-round burst in one of its options, and not only is the 3-round burst gonna let you shoot faster, the more damage you do, I think it's like precision damage, the faster it goes down to the speed or charge rate goes down to 300. So you're gonna be like, imagine you are spewing out bullets with Queensbreaker, and then you're activating particle reconstruction. Oh my god, you are just going to blow through your ammo with this. Boys and girls, get a Queensbreaker if you don't have it, and make sure you level that thing up. And you're absolutely going to want to go to here. Everything else is whatever. You're going to want this mod, and you're going to want to load up on some legendary fusions. You're going to want that for the day one dungeon. You're going to want that if you're trying to do contest mode. Absolutely. That's just shout. Queensbreaker, Euphony Warlock, if you want to do that. But definitely Queensbreaker is going to be the premium pick, in my honest opinion. Having a really good legendary to swap off if you need to use an exotic slot for something else. I am more excited out of everything they have shown. I am more excited for the 10% buff, the Queensbreaker buff, and this mod. This is the most excited I am of the entire episode. And that is really fucking sad. I just want to say that is fucking sad. Merciless, yes, it's going to, yes, Fuxy, it's just like Merciless. It's going to ramp up, and you're going to blow your load. Dual linear might even be good too. Duality, yeah, I mean, duality is going to be good. Absolutely. Let's continue.
Back. I'm so excited. I mean, I just got my hands on the Vex Mythic Last finally. Thank you, Malachi.
Vex is going to be good too.
Honestly.
I'm going to think Vex is going to be better for the fact that you can use it in Grandmasters. I think that's going to be a great shout for Grandmasters is Vex. Time is now. It's going to be a Vex Grandmaster season.
So I have a hunch I'm going to be putting those in the main rotation pretty quickly as well.
You have Vex yet?
Oh yeah.
Okay, don't rub it.
What about you?
I don't know if I have a Vex.
I didn't even get it in D1, so it was like such a moment for me. It was like a decade of waiting, right? Yeah.
I think there's a reason to go back into Vault of Glass. I mean, we can help him get his.
I'm down. I played.
I think dude, are they alluding that like that was a subtle like nudge? They're talking about getting him Vex, but I feel like they're gonna. Are we gonna find out when later in the season, or when the season releases? We're gonna find out that Vogue is coming back. Can I get my Adept, Big Boy Chungus, Perfect Time Lost, Fate Bringer? Can I get my upgraded baby? My 20k, almost 20k kill Fate Bringer is about to get upgraded. Come on, tell me, Bungie. Tell Daddy. I bet I'm coping.
Good point.
Yeah. It's crazy.
I didn't put it on the thing. I bet I'm coping though. I bet I'm coping.
Of the raid exotic, right? Another.
Oh, you're the guy where you get it on the first run.
I usually am, but not with Vault for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, Matt Noguchi out there, you.
Feast or famine, right?
Yeah.
So go back to Vault, you were saying.
Vault of Glass. So there are a bunch of folks where, they want crafting back. They want to do something where they have an end goal. And Vault of Glass is a great opportunity for us to say, hey, you've been going through Heresy content. You want to do some raids. You want to do something else. Like, we're adding weapons to Strikes, Gambit.
Don't fuck with me.
We have a bunch of new weapons. And
Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me.
You've seen in some of these previews.
That's Fatebringer.
Is getting crafting.
You son of a bitch. You son of a bitch. You did
You
it.
can go get that Fatebringer, get it a couple times as a deep sight, craft it, and then you can make that roll that you've always wanted.
Yep. Yeah.
As you're going through Vault, let's say you want to go through and craft like 5 of the weapons that are available. Then you can hop into Master with all your spoils, be going for those Adept versions, and those have a chance to drop with multiple or more perks in those columns. We've been doing this for the last few raids with craftable weapons. Now it's like, hey, I want my heathen weapons. There's a new intrinsic perk. What's the origin trait?
Yes.
And then let's say I'm trying to go for a combination. I could get 3 on this, and then I can enhance it.
We're fucking cooking.
Crazy rocket launcher.
Oh, I'm so hard.
Going to endgame.
God, I'm hard.
Cool stuff.
Yep. Yeah.
Fucking hard.
We've got another weapons. I know I mentioned some reprised ones, but actually, as
Fucking hard.
Menus, Eric, I'd actually love to put you on the spot again and talk about just some of the exotics.
I'm so hard.
To be able to go ahead and acquire this episode as well. Let's start wherever you'd like to. Which one would you like to kick it off with?
Let's look at Barrow Dyad.
Barrow Dyad. I was hoping you'd say that.
So Barrow Dyad.
What the fuck is that? Dude, that looks like some Warframe shit. Like they have literally a blade that you toss. I forgot what it's called. It looks like some Warframe shit. What is that? Not only that, Warframe has like a vehicle where the Corporus literally drive around on like this single wheel like device. Like, what is this? What the fuck is this gun?
Is
a
Is that a gun?
Is that a gun?
Is that actually a gun?
it's hybrid gun for his.
You know, shout out to Bungie. People can't complain that they're reusing models because I don't know what fucking they decided. Let's turn a frisbee into a gun. So here we are.
Our team does not mess around, man. That's so cool. Yeah.
So this thing is a
Taken Divergence. Hitting 3 different targets generates a large amount of blight. Blighted Seekers bore through targets. So it's like malfeasance.
strand submachine gun, and it is also a monster in combat. So this thing, as I deal damage with it, it generates this resource.
Okay, this weapon generates blight as it deals damage. While not firing, blight depletes, and the magazine is gradually refilled. Reload the weapon to convert stored blight into blight seekers. So hitting 3 targets generates blight. Not doing it will convert it into more ammo. And then shooting. So it auto reloads by using the stacks that you make. And if you don't reload, it feeds it back into it, which then you can. It feels like a balance, like a balancing act. Like you could try to overflow your mag and then get more damage because of it. That's weird.
Called blight. Mm-hmm. And next time I reload, whether it's manual,
yeah, new power cap is 240,
or I just run out of my mag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for those of you who hate power grind, it's still in the fucking season.
It's going to convert that blight into these strand seekers. That next time I, pull the trigger, it's going to fire those out.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna give them credit for making something unique. It looks fucking ugly.
They're gonna bounce between enemies.
It looks.
Here we go.
So
we got some gameplay of this right now. Actually.
Yes. So, but you can also see it.
Just juking everything.
The Grim is a paid actor, obviously.
Tonight is snow.
You can also see that this thing auto reloads over time. So this thing, rumor is it's partially sentient.
Yeah.
It has its own wants and needs.
It wants to kill.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if you satisfy it, it's going to reward you.
Yeah.
So look how fast that is.
I'm gonna say right now, power grind is the most useless thing in Destiny. It is retention bait. It is so fucking pointless. I didn't engage with it at all last episode. And the fact that you don't have to engage just gives it more of a reason why it shouldn't fucking exist. Hopefully in Frontiers, Bungie removes all power.
Ammo comes back. So what you can actually do.
You want to know where stats matter? Diablo. Actual MMOs. Destiny, it doesn't. Destiny 2, it doesn't matter.
Just play this mini game where you are, trying to shoot enemies to build up that blight. And then you can pace yourself to auto reload to build up more blight, and then manually reload to load all those seekers into your.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
In addition, it has this perk where dealing damage to 3 different enemies generates in a short period of time.
Yeah.
Generates a large amount of blight.
Very nice. Okay, so equal opportunities to go ahead and clear out crowds, but also.
Why is it that I'm watching them play with this gun and it plays like ass? I'm sorry. I'm watching them try to kill yellow bars, and I'm assuming the difficulty is ramped up to a certain level. It's doing shit all. That's the problem with SMGs. They just do shit all damage to end game activities, and this is a poor representation of what this gun can do.
To just burn down the big bad that might be standing in front of you, or whichever one's foolish enough to do so.
So there are going to be player questions immediately of when you're talking about blight and those sorts of keywords, is this weapon of sorrow?
That's a great question. It is not a weapon of sorrow, but
Why?
You know, I heard another rumor that this thing is a kind of fossilized precursor to a weapon of sorrow.
Interesting.
But I can't, confirm.
Redacted.
This, yeah. One of our top 3 favorite words, redacted.
So they're gonna make another version, like a more so this is the old one, and then there's gonna be a newer, fresh version of this gun that's gonna do other things. Or are you gonna tell me this thing evolves? Like you upgrade this thing? I don't know. That's really weird.
Okay, so this is the one, and we won't spoil how, but players will be earning this one this season. It'll have, catalysts and other intrinsics to earn as well, I assume.
This thing has a lot of surprises. I don't know where.
You can leave it there.
Dude.
I like that.
The range on this is ass. What am I watching?
Okay. All right. So obviously, the Barodiad will be one that will be getting added to a lot of loadouts across the entire Sol system.
Bro, what is
that's not
this
the only one we're
gun?
gonna be taking a
It's
look at
so
today.
bad.
Yeah, let's also look at our new exotic.
Oh, hold on. Okay, Master of Arms, recycled energy. I knew there was something here. There's a new perk called recycled energy. And then there's whatever this is. Master of Arms. Dude, I think people are sleeping on Master of Arms for Palindrome. Like, it's like a better Rampage. And you can keep a stack. I don't know. Maybe I'm sleeping away. Yeah, I mean, it's still shit. Like, I watched him look at an enemy that was close by, and he just tickled the balls. That's, again, I'm comparing this to Endgame, which it seems like they're starting to ramp up the difficulty, versus I'm using this in a public patrol space, which it started out as that way. It looks like it ramps up. Again, we see him literally shooting an enemy right here.
In addition, it has this perk where dealing damage to 3 different
And it does
enemies,
all right
generates,
damage.
In
It's
a
all
short
right.
period of time,
Yeah.
generates a large amount.
But I could just use an auto rifle. I just, for all the work that you have to do, for an exotic slot, I'm just telling you. Again, this is a problem with Destiny. Whether you think we should do Destiny 3 or we should do Sunsetting, I'm not doing that argument. I'm just saying that we have so much in the game that it is hard to compete for opportunity and space. Would I use this over Outbreak? No. Would I use this over Kvostov? No. If I'm doing a Strand build, I would probably use Euphony because this doesn't do any Strand effects. It's Taken, but the Taken effect has nothing to do with. It does sever. It does sever. So maybe if you're doing like a support build with this gun or like champs, maybe I don't understand. Again, you're also competing for the fact that I could throw this on over instead of Queensbreaker and Vex Mythoclast. I don't know. We have to wait to see. But based on the damage and what they're doing and the fact that he's struggling to keep up with a group of enemies, we have better options. We will have to wait to see.
Of light.
Very nice. Okay, so equal opportunities to go ahead and clear out crowds, but also to just
but
burn
like,
down the big bad that might be standing in front of you, or whichever one's foolish enough to do so.
Whoa! I missed the introduction.
Let's also look at our new
Trace rifle
Lodestar. So
oh,
this
great! We
one,
love trace
will be
rifles.
given to players via the season pass.
At least it's unique looking.
This is the first primary ammo trace rifle ever.
We literally have a laser gun, like a true blue. We have a Star Wars laser gun. Literally, a blaster. We literally have a blaster. Is that what you're telling me? We have an actual energy blaster?
So
Pew, 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 pew,
this thing
pew, pew.
behaves like the trace rifle you know and love. But when you ADS with it, it's closer to a pulse rifle, actually.
Okay.
When you
Okay, so it's like duality. Instead of a slug and then it goes into a pellet spread. This one does trace rifle and it goes into what?
Yes, your standard pulse rifle has this kind of cadence.
Pulse
where
rifle.
Prop, prop, prop,
Okay.
Like these, kind of spaces in between the rounds coming out. But this
So
thing
why-
is more.
My question is, this is a primary versus a special. Trace rifles generally suck ass for damage. So why the fuck would I use a primary, which is going to do less damage than a regular trace rifle? I'm wanting to see, what am I missing here? What's the extra perk that's doing something kick ass here?
The steady, EDM, BPM.
Here we go. Yeah, so players are seeing it now. Yeah.
Yeah, we're womp, 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 womp.
Yep, that's right, yeah.
And it's
Okay.
Like, it's nonstop until you run out of ammo, right?
So we got
Yeah.
Hey, they did it.
burst,
They just.
sidearms,
So I'm seeing arc alignment. What is this doing?
burst hand cannons, your pulse rifles. Now we got a burst trace rifle. I love this kind of stuff, man. Yep.
I mean, it's cool that we're getting new
Outside
archetypes.
of this unique firing behavior, as I deal damage with it, you can see down in the bottom left corner we have arc alignment. And
Okay, what does that
doing
do?
Is charging the coils of the weapon. Once
Okay.
it's fully charged, if I press and hold to auto reload, or sorry, special reload.
Oh, right.
As I hip fire, I jolt anything I hit.
Yeah.
Okay,
the jolt
so
is a
keyword.
debuff, right? So you can kind of charge this thing up, auto reload to go into the other fire mode, and then kind of sweep the beam across a bunch of enemies,
Yeah.
jolt them all, and then
Okay.
Paintbrush of death this thing. Yeah.
So this is the arc synergy weapon. You want to, like, if you do jolt and it activates keywords like amplify and bolt charge, this is not as it is. If you were going to use this in its own area, it's not as strong, but it's very good for building into the keyword of bolt charge and the arc hit. Because just because something, like, I could use a legendary weapon that literally has jolting feedback that could do the same thing, or bolt shot. This seems like a juiced up version of that really lets you build into the fact that you can just hit a wave of enemies, activating amplify, doing damage. I can see that. I can see the utility of it, and the fact that you could, if it continues to apply jolt across the board, like, you just, as long as you hold the trigger, everything gets jolt. That means you can deal damage to multiple champions, and jolt stuns champions. So the fact that you can just, and there you go, champions are dealt with, and this has long range, like kind of like a scout, like a meat pulse scout rifle. It's not that bad. It sounds pretty good for champions, like grandmasters. I can see myself using it.
And then the final perk this thing has is when ADS, any time you defeat a arc debuffed enemy, they explode into a blinding explosion. So it's
There it is. You're adding bolt charge. You're stunning champions. You're bolting everything or jolting everything. You're probably activating amplify, and you're blinding. That is a lot of arc synergy. So for what it's trying to do, I think it's a good, like, I'm looking at like centrifuge. I don't like centrifuge. I do like this. This seems like a better centrifuge.
It's this loop where I can charge it up, I jolt enemies,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
defeat the jolted enemies with the ADS shot, which explodes and damages more enemies, which charges it up. And
Yeah.
it's
By the way, you don't even have to use this on arc. They're using you can use this on prismatic and activate prismatic keywords like going invisible and all that stuff, because if you're activating it and you're always applying jolt and blinding and all these keywords, like, you don't even need to use arc to benefit from this. Prismatic will clearly synergize.
Loop continues, honestly, yeah.
This thing has, I think, a really high skill ceiling.
And this is just this one weapon loop. There's obviously all the different artifact mods. There's all the new aspects. There's the new gear we're going to have available to us with the Dreadnought. Theory crafters, update your spreadsheets. The time has begun.
There's some big brain combos you can pull off.
Yeah, and I will be counting on stealing all of them. All right, so we also, really quickly before we move on, we have some new armor as well with Trials. Dylan, can you briefly tell us a little bit as well about the new update?
I'm going to skip the armor. We already know about armors.
The Lighthouse experience. So
I want to read this while we're talking. Time Lost Magazine. Final blows with this weapon grant bonus super energy. Oh, when your super expires, this weapon's magazine size is doubled for a long duration and reloads from reserves. Okay, you crack this up to like what, 14? You get 28, but you also just continues to be 28, and it auto reloads from reserves. Oh, Oh, sweet Jesus. And it has Thresh built into it. Oh! Daddy is getting his beautiful, juicy. I'm gonna live in Vogue next episode. Like, forget everything else. Forget everything else. Screw the episode could be ass. Daddy's going to grind his God roll, time lost, Fatebringer. It is time to grind spoils once again because I don't give a shit about crafting. Daddy wants the juice. Though I guarantee you're going to have to unlock everything first to get the double perks, which means don't waste your time doing master right now. Go for getting all the weapons craftable, and then you will be able to get the double perk drops. That's what I'm assuming is going to happen.
The main goal, big shout out to Mercules on the team that's been working on this for a while, and then Test and everybody too. But what is a Trials experience when it's not flawed?
Yeah, we already know about Trials.
Now it's more, oh, hey, I won 2 games in a row.
Yeah.
So we had a big an emphasis on big article go out about Crucible.
We heard about it. I don't know why we're talking about it again.
There's a bunch of matchmaking stuff, but also Trials is our main game, or main focus for that. And you can see the armor that you get on there.
I will say the armor for Warlock is pretty juiced.
Pieces like once a week or a couple times a week through challenges or opening the chest. It's like you can earn these armor pieces.
It's pretty cool.
Cosmetics like ships, ghosts, the spare. Yeah, Andy saying, "Hey Dylan, you want to play Discord?" And I'm like, "Sorry, I'm a bit too busy."
It's all right, we get it. You're a big deal, but
I'm not.
No, thank you. Honestly, in the interest of being busy, thank you and yours. Obviously, putting together that article. A lot of TikTok. Our friend Epic Defender out there is running Fighting Lion and Cold Denial. So I've gone ahead and personally dusted off my Cold Denial, which is
I don't know who that is, so I'm not gonna put that as a YouTuber, content creator, circle jerk. I don't know who that is.
Now also making a return. So if you don't
season of the rival weapons are coming back. Oh, okay. I'm gonna be honest. Outside of Fallen Guillotine, none of the weapons really stand out to me. But we're getting Season of the Rivals. Cool. Right.
still have it from Season of Arrivals, now's your chance. Dylan, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. What's your favorite role for this one?
Well, so back in the day, I always made sure to have Head Seeker, and it was kind of a niche perk back.
It's funny that they're talking about this Cold Denial and when they just nerfed high impact frames in PvP. Like, guys, Head Seeker, it's a 340. We just nerfed that, but hey, we're gonna advertise this on the stream as we're just like, get your 340s out. I'm sorry, it's kind of funny.
Back then, it was like, oh hey, it helps with one-on-ones.
Paracausal Fluid, gain bonus handling and mobility when damaging targets with this weapon. Sword gain increased charge rate while this perk is active. Are they bringing back Fallen Guillotine again for the fourth time? I think it's the third time. Okay. Outside of that, this seems, again, PvP focused. I'm just going to skip ahead. I don't care. Whispering Slave, Light Frame.
Yeah.
I mean, for the seasonal weapons too, I believe it was, Morgan Dickens, like working with her to see what are all the different roles, what can we call it on the stream.
Yeah.
She put a lot of love into those. Big shout out to the rest of the team as well. Like, I wish I could name every single person, but as you said, it takes a village, it takes a city to build a game.
Absolutely.
So big love for everybody.
Why are we circle jerking about guns that are already in the game? I'm confused why we're giving praise. You literally just brought back a gun that was already in the game.
But yeah, we're just the ones sitting up here today. There's obviously a ton of incredible peers of ours here at Bungie that are behind the scenes building all of this every single day.
All they did is add new perks.
So to our teammates and compatriots at Bungie, we couldn't do it without you. Thank you so much.
Are there any weapons you're looking forward to?
Oh yeah, let's really quickly check.
Oh, I'm looking forward to all the new Dreadnought weapons. They look so gorgeous, especially the new support frame. So I'll be rocking that through my run throughs another.
Whispering Slab Enjoyer. Whispering Slab is now all
Did I miss something?
First machine. But another one I want to call out, one that's so well beloved by the community. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for y'all to go ahead and add this one back into your inventory.
Okay.
is there going to be any new roles added for this one as well, Dylan? Any
I
thoughts?
just-
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
all of the weapon rolls, they're going to be a bit revamped. There will be some heavy
Okay.
hitters from the past, but also new perks have been introduced over time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, for the seasonal weapons too, I believe it was, Morgan Dickens, working with
Hey,
her to-
cool. Wow.
All right. So we obviously have talked through a lot of stuff today.
Our last dungeon, we had a podium finish.
Okay, they're talking about.
Some stuff we got.
Okay, so they're just talking about the podium finish. It's going to be the one person, whatever. By the way, are you guys? If you do day one or the dungeon week 1, you get a coat with Chatterwhite. Bungie, I'm so glad we are giving some praise to Chatterwhite. Guys, we got Chatterwhite. I'm sorry, I had to do it. I had to make the joke. Guys, they made a coat with a jacket with Chatterwhite. I'm sorry. That made me laugh. It looks like shit. I'm sorry. It looks like shit. Also,
Go ahead for the Guardians to go ahead and earn as well. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit?
this is the thing in the background in Rolk's ship. This is like the super weapon that Rolk was trying to activate. So I guess that's part of the whole thing, is stopping whatever is trying to activate it.
Bit about what we're seeing here too.
Sure. Yeah. So on the screen, this is going to be earnable just by playing through. We have a new. I love this note sheet, man. Work shirt. So
Work shirt.
It has a hood, but it's not the hoodies of old. This is
Yeah.
going to be a new thing. A work shirt that you can earn. The wristband.
A work shirt. I see any one of you walk into work at your job and you wear this, I'm going to laugh at you. First off, it looks ugly as hell. And 2, why? All right, there it is. I knew it was going to happen. They always like to put their penis out there. MTX, boys.
Is joining us from a galaxy far, far away. Chat, I'm going to keep an eye on you. I'm sure you're going to start going nuts soon, but that's right. Our next collab.
You know what's funny? It's 2 different franchises that take place in space. And both of the new versions of both the series are fucking ass. Isn't that funny how the new Star Wars that's been coming out is ass, and so is Destiny? You got 2 shit stains coming together. Wow. I cannot believe. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oryx is Palpatine. Oryx is literally Palpatine from The Last Skywalker. Holy shit. They're using Oryx like fucking Palpatine. There's no fucking way that I just realized it. They just randomly retconned Palpatine in the Star Wars series, and now we're getting Oryx in the same way. Holy shit. You can't make this up. I am fucking done with life. Please just throw me off. And can I just point out, this is obviously the Hunter, this is the Warlock. Why? It's funny that the Titan is the Stormtrooper, because we all know that Titans don't know how to use guns. Holy shit.
Yes, join the power of the dark side. Yes, Bungie combining 2 shit stains in one, and together they become the ultimate space shits. It's the Destiny Wars. 2 shitty franchises, well, now they're shitty, coming together in a galaxy that you don't want to be a part of, far, far fucking away.
Oh my God.
But yeah, this one has been super exciting. Now, there's also more as a part of this collaboration for you to explore. So worry not, there's also a Sparrow, a ship,
Of course!
and a finisher. All
Of
for you to check out when
course!
Heresy launches. But of course, we'd be remiss if we didn't take a chance, for starters, to give huge thanks to our friends here at Bungie that helped that. And also, I gotta say, I, for one, am going to be keeping a close eye on the R Destiny fashion subreddit, because I can't wait so much for joining us today.
Okay. That was my live reaction. We'll do the post reaction like in the video. Just if you're watching this 3-hour video, which 2-hour video, I'm gonna have to edit the hell out of this. I'm gonna be honest. I don't even know this is gonna be coming out tomorrow. This might be coming out like Thursday. I'm gonna be 100 of y'all. 2 hours to edit this? Sweet Jesus. I don't know. This is a long fucking video. We're gonna definitely do the best hits and call it a day. Check that out, by the way. My general thought, if you're wanting to know my general thought, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. I'm excited for Vogue. I'm excited for linear fusion rifles, like the buff to weapons. But overall, the story sounds disappointing. The activity doesn't get me hyped because it's just the Coil 2.0. And I personally, I wish we had I would have rather played Contest of Elders in this slot with the good weapons. That's where I'm at. However, I'm glad we've got something for casual players and new players, and for even people like me who sweat their balls off. And sometimes we like to take a break. I'm okay with the activity, but there's nothing about this activity that is wow. There's no wow factor, right? There's nothing that, like, when you think Menagerie, people were wowed. When you saw Into the Light, Onslaught, there was the wow factor. When people did Pantheon, there was the wow factor. I don't get the wow factor for this kind of activity. I don't. It feels like we're doing deep dives again. Deep dives / the coil. I'm not going to be satisfied, unfortunately. But the weapons do. That is part of the thing that I am excited for, the auto rifles. We have one specific weapon that I am excited for. I hope that the rest of the weapons are good. The season of the rival weapons look. Listen, I'm not really ever excited for returning weapons from, like, season of the Splicer. There was what? Robo Rush, and that was about it. Everything else was very mid and replaceable based on what we already have in the game. I feel like the problem with regurgitating seasonal weapons is that unless they were one of the few seasonal weapons that were good, it's just using shitty weapons again. And that's what seasonal revamps feel like. Like, am I excited about a shitty, ugly looking lightweight bow? No. Am I excited about a 340 cold denial? No. We literally got a nerf to those, and we already have several that can take its place. So no. So that's just my general thought. I'm glad Shinies and Adepts are back. That's great. The chase is there. If the rest of the weapons are good, we're gonna have to wait and find out. That's my honest first impressions. So hit that like button, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel for more. As